watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. The BSF thwarts infiltration bid in Jammu's Samba sector, neutralizes 7 terrorists, inflicts heavy damage on Pakistan post in Dhandhar, backing infiltrators. India foils Pakistan's attacks along the entire western border, intercepts and destroys Pakistani missiles aimed at Jammu. Army reiterates resolve to respond to all nefarious designs with force. India's Defence Ministry advises media to avoid live coverage of operations. The INB Ministry launches India Fights Propaganda campaign, hashtag, urging citizens to amplify it. The International Monetary Fund is meeting today to review the financing facilities to Pakistan. India opposes the release of funds, urges the IMF to consider facts before bailing Pakistan out. The Pakistan Armed Forces launched multiple attacks using drones and other munitions along India's western border on the intervening night of the 8th and 9th of May 2025. The Indian Army shared a video and said that the Pakistani troops also resorted to numerous ceasefire violations or CFVs along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. The drone attacks were effectively repulsed and a befitting reply was given to the CFVs. Now, the Indian Army remains committed to safeguarding the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the nation. All nefarious designs will be responded to with force. Notably, the Indian Defence Forces successfully neutralized missile and drone attacks from Pakistan targeting key areas in Jammu, Satwari, Samba, Arispura and Arnya. So according to the defence sources, the attacks, they were repelled with zero casualties, and also showcasing India's robust defence preparedness and real-time operational readiness. In another update, the Border Security Force successfully foiled a major infiltration attempt along the international boundary in Jammu and Kashmir's Samba district. The incident occurred on the intervening night of the 8th and 9th of May 2025. An infiltration attempt by a large group of terrorists has been tried, which was detected by a surveillance grid, and at least 7 terrorists were killed. Extensive damage was caused to the Pakistani post Dhandhar. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha visited Uri and he assessed the damage to civilian areas and also residential houses caused by this unprovoked shelling by Pakistan in the border areas of Lagama and Gingal. And Manoj Sinha also has directed the administration, the district administration, to provide immediate relief to the affected families and to ensure their safety and security. The Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, strongly condemned Pakistan's recent drone attacks targeting civilians in Jammu, calling it an escalation. Abdullah called Thursday's aerial strikes on Jammu one of the most serious assaults on the city since the 1971 war. He pointed to Pahalgam terror attack as the trigger and for India's response, urging Pakistan to de-escalate to avoid further conflict.
पहलगाम में हमारे लोगों के ऊपर हमला हुआ, बेगुनाह लोगों की कत्ल की गई, उसका हमें जवाब देना पड़ा। लेकिन ये जो अब लगातार इसको बढ़ाने का सिलसिला जो पाकिस्तान की तरफ से हो रहा है, इसमें ना पाकिस्तान को कोई फायदा है ना उनकी कोई कामयाबी होगी। बेहतर यही होगा कि वो अपनी बंदूकें खामोश करें और यहाँ पे हालात जो हैं वो दोबारा साजगार हों।
And we're going to get an update now from the ground. Vishal Barrister will be joining us from Srinagar, and Ankush Sharma will also be joining us from Jammu. They'll be putting things into perspective in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. These correspondents are joining us momentarily. We are linking up with them, and as soon as we get in touch with them, we'll get the latest ground situation. Is Vishal with us? In fact, here we are with both Vishal and Ankush. Yes. Vishal, coming to you first. We know that India has retaliated and has thwarted several attempts to infiltration. Put that into context for us. What exactly has happened?
Well, a very good evening to you, Mark. The world knows how India has defended its territory, and there was a swarm drone attack by Pakistan. Now, the world knows that India has a tech-driven airspace defense system. A lot of hard work has gone into it under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It's been 11 years, and it's been a very calculative move by the Indian defense. Let me tell you that this deal, especially of the S-400, which was 35,000 crore. This was done a few years back, and this S-400 Triumph squadrons signed in 2018 with 3 squadrons now operational along the western and northern fronts. It was the foresightedness of the government that today these frontiers are secure, because nobody could have expected that Pakistan could retaliate in such a manner. It was thought to be a Pakistan-sponsored terror attack. Then what Pakistan did yesterday night, the whole north and the west frontier was under attack, and because of this tech-driven airspace defense system, India has been able to defend its territory. There has been no casualty, and India has also attacked the air defense system of Pakistan yesterday. So now we know that how much planning had gone through when we talk about the deployment of 8 Barak medium-range surface-to-air missiles, which was $2.5 billion deal. It was signed with Israel in 2017, along with the integrated Akash missile batteries, which were developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization. Then we are also talking about the man-portable counter-drone system to jam and disable hostile UAV installed in 2024. So a lot of planning had gone through, and this is why the Indian Air Force, Indian Army's air defense, which is AAD, is self-reliant and also capable of combating any kind of attack when it comes to defending the country.
Indeed, we are also joined by Ankush Sharma. He is joining us from Jammu. Ankush, put into context for us, the kind of response that India has given, and also the kind of preparedness of the people, the general public in Jammu for, for any nefarious activities of Pakistan.
On the evening of May 8th, military stations in Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur were targeted by Pakistani origin drones and missiles along the international border in Jammu and Kashmir. Indian defense forces respond swiftly, and air defense system along with kinetic and non-kinetic methods. As per SOPs, no casualties and material damage were reported in Jammu. However, houses were damaged in Poonch, and more information from these areas are forthcoming. If we talk about the current situation in Jammu remains normal, and the public has shown awareness and cooperation in staying alert during this time. In response to the prevailing conditions, the Jammu Chamber of Commerce has announced that all shops and commercial establishments will remain closed from 5:30 p.m. today. The precautionary move is aimed at ensuring public safety and maintaining order. All school, colleges and educational institutes will remain closed till 12th of May as added to safety measure. India's air defense system, including key air bases, remain fully active and on high alert to counter any potential threats from across the border. Security has been tightened across the Jammu region, with forces maintaining strict vigilance at key locations. Officials have urged people to stay calm, avoid responding to unknown calls, and refrain from clicking suspicious links, and not engage with or spread unverified social media content.
Indeed, Vishal, also what kind of advisories have been issued to the people of Srinagar, in this current time?
Well, Mark, first of all, I would like to add what Ankush was saying. Now, talking about this attack, it was a typical Hamas type of attack, and defense sources are telling us that last month the inter-service intelligence of Pakistan Army held a meeting with Hamas in the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. And to counter that, we have Israel as a long-standing friend. So let me quote some very interesting facts about the Operation Sindoor and how it was put to good use. There were Israeli origin Harop drones, now locally built. They were deployed to target and destroy air defense assets in Karachi and Lahore. These platforms combined with the strategic deployment of Rafale fighter jets equipped with Scalp and Hammer missiles, they have demonstrated India's capability to project power with surgical precision. So this was the reason behind India's success. Coming back to the advisory, all the leaves have been cancelled, and also the airports are on high alert. They're still high alert at the Srinagar airport and also in the Avantipura airport. And the special arrangements are also being made at the Odi sector. Today the Lieutenant Governor also visited the Odi sector, and he also informed our viewers how he took stock of the situation. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir is also holding a high-level meeting. Meanwhile, we also have a senior IAS officer, Shaleen Kabra. He has been appointed as the spokesperson. Now he is the point person who will be giving us the official information. Meanwhile, the VPN network in Kishtwar has been closed down, and because there were reports that in some cyber cafes people were trying to access secret websites and also foreign platforms which could jeopardize national security. So these VPN networks have been closed down. Only in the government offices it is allowed.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Vishal Baristo and Ankush Sharma. Thank you for those inputs. Now, moving on to our next story. In fact, in the wake of Operation Sindoor, Pakistan had attempted to escalate tensions by launching missile strikes at Indian military installations. Every single one of these missiles was intercepted and neutralized. In fact, none reached the intended target. So India's rapid coordinated response, it showcased the strength of the air defense ecosystem. The air defense system is built over the past 11 years under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. The integrated counter-unmanned aerial system grid, it proved itself strong. Barak missiles, Akash SAM and DRDO anti-drone tech they are in fact all part of this aerial shield. And India destroyed Chinese-supplied HQ-9 air defense unit in Lahore. India also damaged a key radar infrastructure. In fact, 35,000 crore rupee deal for 5 S-400 Triumph squadrons was signed in 2018, and 3 squadrons are now operational along China and Pakistan borders. The Barak SAM, a $2.5 billion deal, in fact, was signed in 2017 with Israel. The indigenous Akash and DRDO developed counter drone systems were also deployed, and man-portable counter drone system to jam and disable hostile UAVs was installed in 2024. The Operation Sindoor marked combat debut of loitering munitions. Now, loitering munitions are suicidal drones, and that was ordered in 2021. Made in India, these suicidal drones, they took Pakistan's defenses by complete surprise. The Israeli origin Harop drones also destroyed air defense assets in Karachi and Lahore. The The Harop drones are also now locally built. India's External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar spoke to the UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy, and taking to the microblogging site X, the minister said, and I quote, "Had a phone call with the UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy this afternoon. Our discussions centered around countering terrorism, for which there must be zero tolerance," unquote. And in news just coming in, India's Minister of State for Defence, Sanjay Seth, was during his Russia visit, had met the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, and taking to the social media site X, he shared the stills of that meeting where he represented India at the banquet marking the 80th Victory Day anniversary. The minister expressed gratitude to Russia for its support in India's fight against terrorism under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Nandita Dagar has been following that story. She joins us now on the phone line. An important day, Russia's Victory Day, but also a signal that Russia stands very closely with India. Nandita.
Yes, Mark, actually, Prime Minister Modi himself was to represent India because this was a great honor that President Putin of Russia had accorded to India, and considering the special strategic comprehensive partnership that India enjoys with Russia. But Prime Minister Modi had to cancel the visit owing to the Pahalgam attack on 22nd of April, and then it was decided that our Defence Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, would be representing India instead. Mr. Rajnath Singh himself has represented India earlier at one of the Victory Day parades, and Mr. Modi himself also has been taken part in these parades. Also, Prime Minister Modi had visited Russia last year twice. First as for a bilateral summit with President Putin, and also for the SCO summit in Kazan. So our Minister of State for Defence had to go, Mr. Sanjay Seth. He is representing India because owing to the tensions with Pakistan and the kind of proxy terrorist warfare that they have, terrorist attacks that they have carried out, and the indiscriminate bombing missiles and drones that they have targeted our civilian areas with, it was therefore imperative that our Defence Minister had to stay in Delhi and conduct meetings and actually be in the loop of the situation, and therefore he could not go. Having said that, I must say that the Russians hold this Victory Day, they call the VE Day, held 9th of May every year in very, very high esteem. It is one of their national holidays, and it is a matter of great pride for all Russians, because the Second World War, it was the Russians who were instrumental in gaining victory on the Eastern Front over the Nazis. And this is known as a great patriotic war by the Russians, and millions of people lost their lives. The Russians, the sacrifice cannot be taken lightly at all, and if it had not been for the Russians, probably the Allies would never have been able to defeat Hitler. And this is, several schools of thought actually believe this. So the Russian sacrifice and the kind of patriotism that the Russians have in their minds for their martyrs and their previous generations is a matter to see. That there is a grand parade on the Red Square, and our
yes, Nandita.
Yes,
indeed, it is an important day for Russia's particular role in World War II, the victory, as you were putting into context, and this is the 80th anniversary, and Russia, of course, celebrates it every year with great style. But the context also is important, because Russia and Ukraine are involved in a conflict, and we see that the support that Russia continues to give India is equally important at this point of time, and the optics for the world are also important. The people who are present at the Victory Day, we also understand that a lot of behind-the-scenes diplomacy can be taking place at these events.
Mark, you're right. I cannot overstate the fact, overstate the importance of S-400 missiles that the Modi government bought from Russia in 2018 and 19 in bringing down these Pakistani projectiles these missiles and drones with which it targeted all our frontier cities last night. It was the S-400 drones, and India went ahead with this purchase from Russia despite the CAATSA. The US had threatened India with CAATSA sanctions, countering American adversaries through Sanctions Act. You and I very well remember when Defense Minister Sitaraman, Ms. Nirmala Sitaraman was the Defense Minister, the US had actually threatened India with sanctions that we should not buy S-400 and air defense systems, long-range surface-to-air missiles from Russia. But India boldly went ahead, and this was one of the bold moves of the Modi government, and it shows what deep ties, historical ties of not just warm bonhomie between leaders, but also generational ties after India's independence, which Prime Minister Nehru had built, and then subsequent Prime Ministers have built in our military, in our technological cooperation. And these S-400s have now proven to be so instrumental in downing these missiles and drones which have been coming from across the border from Pakistan in the wake of their terrorist attacks and terrorist attacks by their proxies.
Right, we leave it there. Thank you very much, Nandita Dagar, for putting this into context for us. Important Victory Day celebrations and also Russia's continued support to India in the fight against terrorism. Now, moving on, a barrage of coordinated disinformation has been carried out by certain social media handles in general and mainstream media in particular in Pakistan, with the sole objective to instill fear among the Indian masses. This psychological warfare has been actively debunked for the last few weeks. In fact, the Press Information Bureau on Friday had debunked the claims of the Pakistani social media handles saying that a Sukhoi Su-30 MKI was shot down in Muzaffarabad, capturing an Indian pilot alive. And the image of Sukhoi Su-30 MKI of the Indian Air Force, which was shown crashed, in fact, is from Maharashtra, and it dates back to 2014, October 14, 2014. It's an old image. And the Press Information Bureau on Friday also debunked the claims of an explosion at the Jammu Air Force Base being made in several social media posts. As per the PIB fact check, the image being circulated is an old one as well. The image is completely unrelated to the Jammu Air Force Base and is in fact from the Kabul airport blast of August of 2021. The PIB cautioned people not to fall for such disinformation and misinformation and to always verify before sharing. And the PIB's fact-check unit also refuted a false claim of an attack on Gujarat's Hazira port by Pakistan. In fact, in this social media post, the fact-check unit of the PIB has clarified that this is an unrelated video, and it depicts an oil tanker explosion. The video is dated July 7th, 2021. It also urged people not to share this video. Another fake video of a drone strike being from Jalandhar is being widely circulated on social media. In fact, this is also an unrelated video of a farm fire, nothing to do with any drone strike. And the video has the time of 7:39 p.m. The drone attack, in fact, started much later than that. Another fake video was shared by Pakistani social media in which heavy multiple launch rocket systems barrage is falsely being shared as a real Pakistani attack on India. The video actually is from a video game. It's from a video game, mind you, and has been online for over 3 years. It has no connection to the current India-Pakistan situation. Also, a news report by China Daily is falsely claiming that at least 3 Indian jets crashed in Kashmir. Now, the PIB fact check has found that the image is from an earlier incident of 2019. Another false viral WhatsApp message is being circulated about the closure, in fact, of ATMs across India, the closure of ATMs across India for 2 to 3 days. The fact check unit in a social media post has debunked these reports, saying that this message is totally fake. The ATMs are continuing to operate as usual, and it also urged people not to share these unverified messages. Pakistani shelling in Poonch and several other LOC areas. This shelling has resulted in the damage of properties and residential houses. No casualties have been reported. A temple in Poonch suffered damage after heavy cross-border shelling by Pakistan on Thursday night. Despite the challenges, the locals have shown remarkable resilience and solidarity with the Indian Army. Meanwhile, parts of Pakistani missile were found in Makkan Bhindi village. This is also in Pathankot in Amritsar. So what's happened is that similar debris was found in Rajasthan's Jaisalmer, and the locals, they said that they had heard some explosions, multiple explosions in the midnight. The debris had fallen on the roofs of several houses. Right. We have Lakshay Arya now joining us from Jaisalmer. Lakshay, tell us, there is a blackout that is supposed to be in a few hours. Give us some details about it so that people are well aware of it.
Absolutely. The new guidelines has been issued from the district magistrate and the local administration that now the blackout timing will be 6 to 6 in the morning. So there will be going to be a 12-hour blackout in the whole district, and not only the Jaisalmer but also in Bardmer and the border districts of Rajasthan. Upcoming update from the Jaisalmer and latest from the Bardmer as well, that people are with the orders, people are really supporting the district administration and following the advisories that has been issued latest from the local administration as well as from the border police as well. I want to tell you like that I'm standing right here in the main market of the Jaisalmer. You can see right behind me that the shops which usually get crowded and it used to be flooded with the tourists, now they are shut down in the peak time in the evening, and it's almost something around 5, and as per the orders by the district magistrate and by the security forces that the market should be closed down by the 5s. So you can see behind me that the shops are being shut down. From the 6 p.m. the blackout will be operated right in Jaisalmer, right in the Bardmer, and along with the high alert. I want to say that right in the district as well, the district administration is regularly, informing the crowd and informing the citizens that you need to follow the advisories and the instruction that need to be followed in blackout. No lights will be lightened up. No passage of the 4-wheeler or 2-wheeler during the blackout, as well as the fake news and the advisory regarding the fake news, misinformation has been issued with the district administration and the local authorities.
Also, Lakshay, have been people, given any information about any drill that would be required during the blackout or even after the blackout in case of, any attack?
Absolutely, because it's more important. It's not about the role of the armed forces. It's not about the role of the local administration, but it's also about the role of the local people, role of the citizens, how they are, doing the following the advisory, and how they are following the instruction of the local administration. Last night, when the blackout was observed from 9 in the night to the 4 in the morning, later the blackout was extended 2 hours. So wholly the blackout was observed till the 6 in the morning in the border districts of the Jaisalmer as well as in Bardmer. But the amazing support of the local people and the residents of these border districts is not only supporting the administration but also giving a huge message that the people are trusting the central government, people are trusting the armed forces, and they have a big trust. They're showing the big trust over the armed forces. Even yesterday I talked to the local residents of the Jaisalmer, I talked to the local residents of the Pokhran as well. They have shown the confidence in the armed forces, and they shown up their full confidence for the central government as well. Most importantly, the educational institution right in the Jaisalmer, the Bardmer and the Bikaner as well has been shut down till the further notice. Also, the students who are living in the hostels, whether in the colleges or in the universities or in the schools, have been told to move to their hometown and leave the hostels. So the hostels has been shut down, libraries has been shut down, the school, colleges has been shut down. So there's a big move right in the Jaisalmer and big security move right across the border districts.
Also, Lakshya, we are showing some visuals, they may be from Punjab, but you know, Rajasthan also saw some debris of drones or you know, of multiple explosions that they heard last night in the midnight. Could you tell us a little bit about those the debris that has been found in Jaisalmer?
Absolutely. Last night, when in the 9 in the night, the blackout started, and something around after the 9:10, some drone attacks were observed right in Jaisalmer, which were get destroyed and neutralized by the air defense system of India. But right in today, several parts of Jaisalmer observed that some parts of those destroyed drones, some neutralized drone. Also, a place in Jaisalmer, a remote village right in Jaisalmer, observed, a piece of a bomb that was later the QRT team reached out there, the army reached out there, they sealed the whole area, and when in the morning the villagers of the area of that outskirt of the Jaisalmer informed the police informed the army, then the army and QRT team reached out there. Right now the area has been sealed out and no such casualty, no such damage has been observed till last night, since last night in the Jaisalmer, in the Bardmer and the border districts.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Lakshya, for being with us and putting us, giving us information about the important events that are taking place in Jaisalmer. Moving on to our next story. In fact, residents of Jaisalmer, they have expressed faith in the armed forces and also confirmed that there was a complete blackout in the city yesterday. Let's listen to them.
कल रात को बहुत ही बड़े ड्रोन आए थे पाकिस्तान से, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ इंडिया के एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम ने किसी भी ड्रोन को यहाँ नीचे नहीं आने दिया, ऊपर ही सबको हवा में डिफ्यूज कर दिया। बहुत ही अच्छा लगा ये एयर डिफेंस देख के। इंडिया की ताकत पाकिस्तान से कई गुना ज़्यादा है और पाकिस्तान कभी भी भारत के आगे जीत नहीं सकता है।
Okay, we are going across now live to listen to the briefing of the Ministry of External Affairs. Let's go across.
Switch off your mobile phone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this press briefing by Foreign Secretary Sri Vikram Mishri on the ongoing developments around Operation Sindhu. We are also joined by Colonel Sophia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyodika Singh. With that, I hand over the floor to Foreign Secretary. Sir, over to you.
थैंक यू रवि। नमस्कार, गुड आफ्टरनून, आप सबका स्वागत है। और मैं सबसे पहले अनुरोध करूंगा कर्नल सोफिया कुरैशी से कि वो आपको आज तड़के सवेरे से हुई घटनाओं से अवगत कराएं। कर्नल कुरैशी।
थैंक यू सर। नमस्कार। 8 से 9 मई 2025 की मध्य रात्रि को पाकिस्तानी सेना ने सैन्य बुनियादी ढांचे को निशाना बनाने के इरादे से पूरी पश्चिमी सेना पर भारतीय वायु क्षेत्र का कई बार उल्लंघन किया। यही नहीं बल्कि पाकिस्तानी सेना ने नियंत्रण रेखा पर भारी कैलिबर वाले हथियारों से गोलीबारी भी की। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा और नियंत्रण रेखा पर लेह से लेकर सर क्रीक तक 36 स्थानों पर 300 से 400 लगभग ड्रोनों का इस्तेमाल घुसपैठ का प्रयास करने के लिए किया गया। भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने काइनेटिक्स व नॉन काइनेटिक साधनों का उपयोग करके इनमें से कई ड्रोन्स को मार गिराया। इतने बड़े पैमाने पर हवाई घुसपैठों का संभावित उद्देश्य वायु रक्षा प्रणालियों का परीक्षण करना और खुफिया जानकारी इकट्ठा करना था। ड्रोन के मलबे की फॉरेंसिक जांच की जा रही है। प्रारंभिक रिपोर्ट्स से पता चलता है कि वे तुर्की के असीस गार्ड सोंगर ड्रोन्स हैं। इसके उपरांत रात में पाकिस्तान के एक सशस्त्र यूएवी ने भटिंडा सैन्य स्टेशन को निशाना बनाने की कोशिश भी की, जिसे पकड़ा गया और उसे निष्क्रिय कर दिया गया। पाकिस्तानी हमले के जवाब में पाकिस्तान में 4 हवाई रक्षा स्थलों पर सशस्त्र ड्रोन्स लॉन्च किए गए। इनमें से एक ड्रोन एडी रडार को नष्ट करने में सक्षम रहा। पाकिस्तान ने जम्मू कश्मीर के तंगधार, उरी, पुंछ, मेंढर, राजौरी, अखनूर और उधमपुर में भारी कैलिबर आर्टिलरी गन और सशस्त्र ड्रोन्स का उपयोग करके नियंत्रण रेखा के पार गोलीबारी भी की, जिसके परिणाम स्वरूप भारतीय सेना के कुछ जवान हताहत हुए और घायल हुए। भारतीय जवाबी कार्रवाई में पाकिस्तानी सेना को भी बड़ा नुकसान पहुंचाया गया। इसके अलावा पाकिस्तान का गैर जिम्मेदाराना व्यवहार फिर से सामने आया। 7 मई 2025 को रात 8:30 बजे एक असफल अकारण ड्रोन और मिसाइल हमला करने के बावजूद पाकिस्तान ने अपना नागरिक हवाई क्षेत्र बंद नहीं किया। पाकिस्तान अपने नागरिक विमानों को ढाल के रूप में इस्तेमाल कर रहा है, जबकि उसे अच्छी तरह से पता है कि भारत पर उसके हमले से हवाई रक्षा की तीव्र प्रतिक्रिया होगी। यह भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा के पास उड़ान भरने वाले अंतर्राष्ट्रीय उड़ानों सहित नागरिक विमानों के लिए सुरक्षित नहीं है। यहाँ स्क्रीन शॉट में पंजाब सेक्टर में हाई एयर डिफेंस अलर्ट स्थिति के दौरान एप्लीकेशन फ्लाइट रडार 24 का डेटा दिखाया गया है। जैसा कि आप देख रहे हैं, यहाँ पर भारतीय पक्ष का हवाई क्षेत्र घोषित बंद के कारण नागरिक हवाई यातायात से पूरी तरह से रहित है। कराची और लाहौर के बीच के हवाई अड्डे मार्ग पर नागरिक एयरलाइंस उड़ान भर रही है। हाई अलर्ट किया गया है विमान फ्लाइनेस एविएशन का एयरबस 320, जैसा कि आप यहां देख रहे हैं, जो कि शाम को 5:50 बजे दमम से शुरू हुआ और रात को 9:10 बजे लाहौर में उतरा। ये सारा डिटेल्स आप यहां देख रहे हैं, ये डिटेल्स यहां लिखा हुआ है। कैन यू सी दिस? भारतीय वायुसेना ने अपनी प्रतिक्रिया में काफी संयम दिखाया और इस प्रकार अंतर्राष्ट्रीय नागरिक विमान सेवा की सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित की। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Good afternoon to you all. On the intervening night of 8th, 9th May 2025, Pakistan military carry out multiple violations of Indian airspace along the entire western border with an intent to target military infrastructure. Pakistan military also resorted to firing of heavy caliber weapons along the line of control. Along the international border and line of control, drone intrusions were attempted from Leh to Sar Creek at 36 locations with approximately 300 to 400 drones. Indian Armed Forces brought down a number of these drones using kinetic and non-kinetic means. The possible purpose of these large-scale aerial intrusions were to test the AD systems and gather intelligence. Forensic examination of the drone debris is being undertaken. Preliminary reports suggest them to be of Aziz Guard Songa drone of Turkey. Later in the night, an armed UAV of Pakistan attempted to target Bhatinda military station, which was detected and neutralized. In response to the Pakistani attack, armed drones were launched at 4 air defense sites in Pakistan. One of the drones was able to destroy an AD radar. Pakistan also carried out artillery shelling across the line of control using heavy caliber artillery guns and armed drones at Tangdhar, Uri, Poonch, Mendhar, Rajouri, Akhnur and Udhampur in Jammu and Kashmir area, which resulted in some losses and injuries to Indian Army personnel. Pakistan Army also suffered major losses in Indian retaliatory fire. Additionally, Pakistan's irresponsible behavior again came to fore. Pakistan did not close its civil airspace despite it launching a failed unprovoked drone and missile attack on 7th May at 8:30 hours in the evening. Pakistan is using civil airliners as a shield, knowing fully well that its attack on India would elicit a swift air defense response. This is not safe for the unsuspecting civil airliners, including the international flights which were flying near IB between India and Pakistan. The screenshot we just showed and we shall share with you, it shows the data of the application Flight Radar 24 during a high air defense alert situation in the Punjab sector. As you have seen, the airspace on the Indian side is absolutely devoid of civil air traffic due to our declared closure. However, there are civil airlines flying the air route between Karachi and Lahore. Amongst the other civil aircraft that you can see, we have highlighted an aircraft which is Airbus 320 of Flynas Aviation, which was originated from Dammam at 1750 hours and landed later at Lahore at 2110 hours in the night. Indian Air Force demonstrated considerable restraint in its response, thus ensuring safety of international civil carrier.
Thank you, Colonel Qureshi, Wing Commander Singh. I have just a few points to share in addition. कल रात की पाकिस्तानी सेना की कायरतापूर्ण गतिविधियों से आपको कर्नल कुरैशी और विंग कमांडर सिंह ने पहले ही अवगत करा दिया गया है. These provocative and escalatory actions that were taken by Pakistan last night were targeted at Indian cities and civilian infrastructure, in addition to some military targets. The Indian armed forces responded proportionately, adequately and responsibly. ये जो हमले हुए कल रात को भारतीय सैन्य इकाइयों ने पर्याप्त रूप से और एक जिम्मेदाराना रुख अपनाते हुए इन हरकतों का उत्तर दिया. What I want to underline is that the official and blatantly farcical denial of these attacks that Pakistan carried out by the Pakistani state machinery is yet another example of their duplicity and the new depths that they are plumbing in their quest for disinformation. The other point in the same vein is Pakistani claims that they did not target or attack any religious places. You would recall that yesterday I shared with you an incident related to the attack on a Gurdwara in Poonch. Instead of owning up to these attacks, Pakistan made the preposterous and outrageous claim that it was the Indian armed forces and the Indian Air Force that was targeting cities like Amritsar and trying to put the blame on Pakistan. This is nothing but a desperate attempt by Pakistan to disown its acts of aggression, but it is also true to type in its effort to deceive and mislead the world. It will not succeed. The Gurdwara in Poonch in particular was attacked by Pakistan, and some local members of the Sikh community, including a Ragi of the Gurdwara, lost their lives in this incident, as I shared yesterday. TV पर आप इस हमले के चित्र देख सकते हैं. In addition, that we would attack our own cities is the kind of deranged fantasy that only the Pakistani state can come up with. Perhaps they do it because they are well versed in such action, as their history would show. The last point I wanted to make this evening is again this disinformation that is coming from Pakistan about India targeting the Nankana Sahib Gurdwara through a drone attack. This is again yet another blatant lie and part of Pakistan's disinformation campaign. As we saw in the Pahalgam attack, Pakistan is again trying desperately to impart a communal hue to the situation with an intention to create discord. Again, we are not surprised. India's steadfast unity in itself is a challenge to Pakistan. Let me stop there. I have time only for a few questions and be happy to try and answer them.
First, I call Siddharth. Siddharth, please.
Hi, sir. I'm Siddharth from Beyond. So this is
Siddharth, behind, please. The other Siddharth.
Yes. Hi, sir. I'm Siddharth from CNN News 18. Sir, I only want to know from you the status of Kartarpur corridor. Is it open or not? You can.
I think you're all aware of the situation along the entire India-Pakistan border and the areas around the line of control. In view of the existing security scenario, the services of the Kartarpur Sahib corridor have been suspended till further directions. We'll update you as and when there is a change in the situation.
You have a question there, Rishabh?
So, good evening, Rishabh from Times Now. So, you spoke about religious places being hit in Jammu. There's another religious place which is a Carmelite nun church that has been hit. What do you have to say about it? If you can explain it.
Yeah, actually, we do have some information about this extremely regrettable and condemnable incident. During heavy shelling across the line of control in the early morning of 7th May, a shell fired from Pakistan landed just behind the Christ School run by the Carmelites of Mary Immaculate congregation in Puj. Tragically, the shell fired from Pakistan hit the home of 2 students of the Christ School. Both students unfortunately lost their lives and their parents were severely injured. Another Pakistani shell struck a Christian convent of nuns belonging to the congregation of the Mother of Carmel, damaging water tanks and destroying solar panel infrastructure. Several priests, nuns, school staff and local residents took refuge in an underground hall beneath the Christ School during the shelling by Pakistan. The school happened to be closed at the time, fortunately. Otherwise, more losses would have occurred. Again, we have seen the Pakistani side targeting and shelling places of worship with a particular design. This includes gurdwaras, these convents and temples. This is a new low even for Pakistan.
सर प्रणय उपाध्याय अमरजाल से सर कल आपने इसी पोडियम से पाकिस्तान के आईएमएफ बेलआउट को लेकर और इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी को लेकर जो टिप्पणी की थी उसकी पाकिस्तान में काफी तीखी प्रतिक्रिया भी आई और उसके बाद हमने देखा कि पाकिस्तान की तरफ से किस तरीके से लेह से लेकर भुज तक पूरी बॉर्डर के ऊपर जो इन्वेजन था वो किया गया। मौजूदा सिचुएशन के अंदर पाकिस्तान के बेलआउट पैकेज को लेकर और पाकिस्तान के अटेम्प्ट्स को लेकर आपका क्या असेसमेंट है? और दूसरा ये भी जानना चाहेंगे कि पाकिस्तान की तरफ से ये जो अटेम्प्ट किया गया था उसका भारत ने अभी तक उस तरीके का कोई जवाब नहीं दिया गया है, तो क्या भारत इसका जवाब देगा जो कार्रवाई हुई है बीते 24 घंटों में?
देखिए प्रणय, जहाँ तक इंडस वाटर्स ट्रीटी का सवाल है मैंने कल विस्तार से उसके बारे में इसकी चर्चा की है. Indus Waters Treaty is in abeyance and as such I have nothing further to add to the decision that was announced by the Cabinet Committee on Security. जहाँ तक IMF bailout का सवाल है, आपको ज्ञान होगा कि IMF की आज मीटिंग हो रही है. हम वहाँ पे अपना पक्ष रखेंगे और जो हमारा मत है इन चीज़ों को लेके वहाँ पे साझा करेंगे दूसरे मेंबर्स के साथ. ये बोर्ड पे निर्भर है कि वहाँ पे क्या निर्णय होता है. और जहाँ तक जो कार्रवाई हुई है उसका जवाब देने का जो आपने जो प्रश्न उठाया है, जो आज ब्रीफिंग हुई है, जो आपको सूचना मिली है, मैंने भी कहा है कि जो आज सवेरे तड़के सवेरे जो गतिविधियां हुई, भारत ने उनका एक जिम्मेदाराना पूर्ण तरीके से और एक पर्याप्त तरीके से उसका जवाब दे दिया है.
Hi sir, Siddhant from Beyond. Sir, the External Affairs Minister has spoken to many of his counterparts around the world. Yesterday he spoke to the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So what were the key areas of conversations during that call?
Yes, the minister had a conversation with the US Secretary of State. As you can imagine, the focus of discussions was the terrorist attack in Pahalgam and the response that India mounted after that on the 7th of May. The Secretary of State shared his thoughts on these developments with the minister. The minister deeply appreciated the US's commitment to work with India in the fight against terrorism, and he also underlined the targeted measures that India had taken in connection with Ops Sindoor. The minister also underlined that India would firmly counter any attempts at escalation from there. But in follow-up to that, as you are aware, there have been a number of other conversations. The minister had a conversation with the UK Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, today. There too, the discussion centered around countering terrorism, for which there must be zero tolerance. And I understand just a short while ago, the External Affairs Minister has also spoken to the Foreign Minister of Norway, Espen Barth Eide, which was also focused on recent developments stemming from the terrorist act in Pahalgam.
One last question, Sudeep.
Sir, Foreign Secretary, thank you for doing this. Shri Ranjan from Bloomberg. Foreign Secretary, India had struck Bahawalpur the other day, which is also connected with the murder of one of us journalists, Daniel Pearl. If you could give us an understanding of what exactly are the reports that you're getting.
You're right. Bahawalpur is the headquarters of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist group that is proscribed by the United Nations. Its leader, Maulana Masood Azhar, is a proscribed individual. It is, you brought up the connection with the tragic death or killing of Daniel Pearl of the Wall Street Journal. The Jaish-e-Mohammed was in some way directly or indirectly responsible for the death of Daniel Pearl. But the real connection is through Ahmed Omar Saeed Sheikh, the British Pakistani jihadi who was held in India but was finally released in 2000, and he was the person who lured Daniel Pearl to his eventually leading to his murder. So these are all obviously connected figures, connected individuals, connected institutions, and the attack on Bahawalpur, on that facility of the Jaish-e-Mohammed in Bahawalpur is, I would imagine, a fitting part of this unfortunate incident. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. With that, we come to the closure of this press briefing. Thank you very much.
An important press briefing there by the Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, along with Colonel Qureshi representing the Army and Wing Commander Singh from the Air Force. Briefly, a few points that were mentioned, that Pakistan last night had tried to attack 36 locations through drones, and the aim of this barrage of drones being sent into India were targeting cities and civilian infrastructure, and also to test India's aerial defense system. The drones that were all downed, most of them were downed, seemed to suggest that they were from Turkey. Also, while they were being sent, there was a civilian aircraft that also had been flying in that area so that India could not retaliate. So Pakistan was using civilian airlines or commercial airlines as shields so that India could not retaliate. The Foreign Secretary took some questions. He said that the Kartarpur corridor is closed, that some attacks are targeting particularly religious institutions. Clearly, gurdwaras, temples and convents are being targeted, and particular religious identities are being targeted. In fact, one attack on the Christ School has resulted in the deaths of two girl students. The External Affairs Minister has spoken to several of his counterparts, including the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and he expressed his commitment to India's fight against terrorism, and the External Affairs Minister was thankful for the US's committed support to the fight against terrorism and India's fight. The same conversation was had with the UK Foreign Secretary as well as the Foreign Secretary or the Foreign Minister of Norway. We are joined by Vishal Barristow. Vishal, so in context of the drone attacks, we can see that there were several of them. They were targeting cities and civilian infrastructure, and clearly, they were there also Pakistan trying to use civilian aircraft as a shield so that India could not attack. But despite that, India has retaliated, and in a measured way and with restraint.
Well, absolutely, Mark. The retaliation was in quite a measured way, but with clinical precision. And the India's Army Air Defense and also the Air Force Defense, the airspace defense has been very good and excellent. In fact, the swarm of drones that attacked 36 different locations along the western and northern borders, 50 drones were neutralized. And the way Pakistan is attacking India, trying to shield behind the civilian aircraft, speaks volumes about its tactics, that it has it does not care about human life, but India does. And this is what India has informed the world. You heard our foreign minister meeting his counterparts from US, UK and Norway.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Vishal Barristow, for joining us with that update. And with that, we conclude this particular news hour. Thank you very much for watching. Namaskar.